Hello, first grade scientists, and welcome to your science job for today. Our target skill is I can identify skills used by scientists. All right, the question we're going to ask ourselves today, boys and girls, is how do I think like a scientist? Well, scientists use inquiry skills. You say it, inquiry skills. These are skills or things that they do to help them learn about the world around them. So, boys and girls, today we are going to think like scientists and learn about the world around us. So, this is my friend, Mr. Scientist, and he is going to tell us about some of his skills, some of the things that he does to help him learn about the world. All right, so first we can observe. Put your binoculars on, first graders. When we observe something, we look at it. We take a close look to try and learn about it. Another skill we have is to classify. When you classify things, you group them into groups based on how they are the same. So for this picture, I can see that the shapes are grouped by their colors because everyone in this group is blue, and this group is red, and orange, and green, and yellow. So when you classify things, you group them into groups by the things that they have that are the same. When you compare things as a scientist, boys and girls, you take two or more things and say how they are the same and how they are different. So we can compare. Our next skill as a scientist, boys and girls, is to measure. Pretend you're taking out your measuring tape and measure. Last week we talked about all of the different science tools that you can use to measure. You can measure how heavy things are, how hot or cold, how long or how much of something there is. This is an inquiry skill that we use to learn about objects or things around us. Mr. Scientist also likes to plan investigations. So, when you're a scientist, you might need to plan an investigation. Get your spyglass out, boys and girls. An investigation is when we ask a question about the world around us. I wonder if my toy car will sink if I drop him in the pool. If I drop my car in the pool, will it sink? So, I'm going to plan an investigation. How will I find the answer to this question? I should probably drop him in the pool a couple of times to see if he sinks every single time. Boys and girls, before I even start my investigation, I'm going to hypothesize. I'm going to make a smart guess. I'm going to say my toy car is kind of heavy, so I think that he will sink to the bottom of the pool. Another skill we have while we are doing our experiment, boys and girls, is to infer. Infer. Take information that we know and make a smart guess about it. So, I feel that my car is heavy, and I see other toy cars on the bottom of the pool, so I can infer that my toy car will probably sink. I took information that I knew or that I observed, and I used it to make a smart guess. That is to infer. Another science skill that we may use is to make a prediction. Here we can see a boy putting on a sock, putting on a second sock, putting on one shoe. What do you think he will do next? When you predict, you say, what will happen next? I think that the boy will put on his other shoe because he's got a shoe here, and we know you can't leave the house with just one shoe, although sometimes it might happen. All right, our last few skills that we use to think like a scientist are to draw conclusions. You say it, conclusions. Boys and girls, a conclusion is where you say, I know. So, I did it. I dropped my car in the pool a couple of times, and it sank every single time. So I know that my toy car will sink to the bottom of the pool. I know that it does not float. Boys and girls, now that I have this information, should I just keep it a secret to myself? That's not what scientists do. Scientists communicate their information. They tell other people about it. How do they tell other people? Well, sometimes they show other people by making a model. This is a picture of a real-life flower. This is a model of a flower. It shows the real thing, but it's not actually the real thing. This is made out of paper, and there's a plate, and there's some Play-Doh. So you can build a model to look like a real-life thing to share your discoveries or conclusions as a scientist. Scientists also sequence events. They observe things, and they put events in order from first to last. So this shows how to make a sandwich. You get your ingredients. You put peanut butter and jelly on the bread. You smush the bread together, and lastly, you get to eat the sandwich. So that is a sequence. You say it, sequence. Alrighty, boys and girls. Now it is your turn to take a closer look at these inquiry skills. Find page 17 and have fun with lesson 3. I'll see you next time.